Tixie, a remote Arctic town located in the Sakha Republic, Yakutia of Russia, is a poignant example of human resilience in the face of one of the world's harshest environments. Perched on the shores of the Laptov Sea, part of the Arctic Ocean, Tixie lies well above the Arctic Circle, where temperatures can plunge to unimaginable lows, reaching as far as -50 degrees Celsius, -58 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter months. The town is home to approximately 4,500 residents who live with the constant challenges of extreme cold, polar nights, isolation, and the vestiges of a fading Soviet legacy. Tixie's origins are deeply tied to Soviet ambitions in the Arctic during the mid-20th century. Established in 1933 as part of the Soviet Union's strategic expansion into the Arctic, Tixie became a critical outpost for scientific research, military operations, and the Northern Sea Route, which connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Arctic. The town served as a logistical hub and symbol of Soviet dominance over the vast, untamed northern wilderness. The USSR heavily invested in Tixie, building infrastructure, military bases, and a port to facilitate Arctic exploration and commerce. In its heyday, Tixie was a thriving community with schools, cultural centers, and research stations. The Soviet government incentivized families to relocate to this desolate region with promises of higher wages, subsidized housing, and social services. Tixie's strategic importance made it a focal point for Arctic development, and it enjoyed a brief period of prosperity. However, the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the beginning of Tixie's decline. The economic collapse that followed led to the withdrawal of federal support and funding. Military bases were abandoned, research stations were decommissioned, and the Northern Sea Route became less viable due to geopolitical and economic challenges. Tixie's population dwindled as residents moved south in search of better opportunities. Today, the remnants of Soviet infrastructure, derelict buildings, rusting machinery, and crumbling roads serve as stark reminders of a bygone era. Despite its decline, Tixie remains home to a resilient population that has adapted to the extreme Arctic conditions. Life in Tixie revolves around surviving the relentless cold, which dominates the region for most of the year. Winters are long and brutal, with darkness enveloping the town during the polar night, a period lasting several weeks when the sun does not rise above the horizon. During this time, the town relies on artificial light, and residents must grapple with the psychological effects of prolonged darkness, including seasonal affective disorder, SAD, and depression. Summers in Tixie, though brief, bring the phenomenon of the midnight sun, where the sun does not set for weeks. Temperatures rise to a modest 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, allowing residents a brief respite from the cold. During this period, Tixie's port becomes active as ships deliver supplies and transport goods. The short summer is also a time for fishing, hunting, and gathering, essential activities for sustaining life in such an isolated region. Housing in Tixie is designed to withstand the harsh climate. Buildings are typically elevated on stilts to prevent heat loss to the frozen ground and to avoid thawing the permafrost, which can cause structural instability. Insulated walls, triple-pane windows, and centralized heating systems powered by diesel or coal help residents endure the cold. However, maintaining this infrastructure is a constant challenge due to the harsh environment and limited resources. The local economy is modest, with most residents employed in public services, fishing, and subsistence activities. Tixie also hosts a weather station and a few scientific research facilities that monitor Arctic climate change and study the effects of thawing permafrost. These research initiatives provide limited employment opportunities and bring a small influx of scientists and researchers to the town. Education and healthcare services in Tixie face significant challenges. The town has a few schools and a small hospital, but staffing shortages and outdated equipment hinder their effectiveness. Teachers, doctors, and other professionals are often reluctant to relocate to such an isolated and inhospitable environment. Despite these difficulties, the people of Tixie maintain a sense of community, supporting one another through the hardships of Arctic life. One of the most pressing issues facing Tixie today is the impact of climate change on the Arctic environment. Tixie sits atop permafrost, a layer of permanently frozen ground that underpins much of the Arctic. As global temperatures rise, permafrost is beginning to thaw, leading to a host of environmental and structural challenges. Thawing permafrost destabilizes the ground, causing buildings, roads, and pipelines to shift or collapse. This poses a significant threat to Tixie's already aging infrastructure. Moreover, the thawing process releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas, which further exacerbates global warming in a dangerous feedback loop. Scientists studying climate change in Tixie have documented alarming rates of permafrost degradation, with some areas experiencing severe subsidence and erosion. The changing climate is also affecting Tixie's natural environment and traditional ways of life. Melting sea ice has disrupted marine ecosystems, threatening the fish and marine mammals that local communities rely on for sustenance. The retreat of sea ice has also opened the Arctic to increased shipping traffic, oil exploration, and other industrial activities, raising concerns about environmental degradation and the potential for oil spills. For Tixie's residents, adapting to these changes is an ongoing struggle. Traditional knowledge passed down through generations is being challenged by the rapid pace of environmental transformation. The town's fishermen and hunters must navigate unpredictable weather patterns, shifting animal migration routes, and declining fish stocks. These changes have a profound impact on the cultural and economic fabric of the community. Tixie's future remains uncertain as it grapples with the twin challenges of economic decline and environmental change. However, there are glimmers of hope amid the adversity. The Russian government has recently renewed its interest in the Arctic, driven by geopolitical and economic considerations. Tixie has been identified as a key location in plans to revive the northern sea route, which is becoming more navigable due to melting sea ice. Investments in port infrastructure and transportation could bring economic benefits to the town, providing much-needed jobs and resources. Scientific research also holds promise for Tixie. The town's proximity to the Arctic Ocean and its unique environment make it an ideal location for studying climate change and Arctic ecosystems. Expanding research facilities and fostering collaboration with international scientists could create opportunities for economic growth and global recognition. Tourism, though limited, offers another avenue for development. The Arctic's stark beauty and unique wildlife attract adventurous travelers seeking to experience one of the world's last frontiers. Tixie's rich cultural heritage, including the traditions of the indigenous Sakha and Evenki peoples, adds to its appeal as a destination. Developing sustainable tourism initiatives could provide an additional source of income while preserving the region's natural and cultural treasures. However, these opportunities come with challenges. Revitalizing Tixie's economy and infrastructure requires substantial investment and long-term commitment. Ensuring that development is environmentally sustainable and benefits local communities will be critical. Additionally, addressing the social and psychological impacts of isolation and extreme conditions on Tixie's residents is essential for fostering resilience and well-being. Tixie, Russia, is a testament to human endurance and adaptability in one of the planet's most extreme environments. From its origins as a strategic Soviet outpost to its current struggles with economic decline and climate change, Tixie embodies the complexities and contradictions of life in the Arctic. While the challenges facing the town are formidable, its resilient community and unique position in the Arctic offer opportunities for renewal and reinvention. Tixie's story is not just one of survival, but also a reflection of humanity's ability to persevere and find hope in even the harshest of circumstances.